town with Cliff Graham. Look at him, the bald one.
That's right.
That's him, right there. He is in town for our Cavetime weekend. The guys from Know the Covering are here with us. Cliff came with like 15 bodyguards. It's really weird, but you can edit that out. So one of the first things we want to talk about is the Know the Covering and Day of War. We've got a big movie being made, and I'm excited. You know, I got a hold of Mike Allsteel, and he said I could be in it. Have you guys?
David.
Well, no, I was a little older, I think I'm a little bigger than, but an Amalekite, a large head, big jaw. Have you heard about, has Mike talked to you about this?
We talked about this, and agents are talking to agents right now, my
Are
friend.
they?
Agents are talking to agents.
Really? I'd do it for free.
Yeah,
I'm serious.
That's a big lure. I tell you, that's a big lure. Free is good. Free is good.
No, he thinks I'm joking.
You can hack a head off if you want to, man. We'll find an Amalekite.
Hey, you can cut my head off for the kingdom?
Yeah.
Come on.
Do it for the kingdom.
My
That's a good way of putting it.
Okay. Seriously, though. No, I'm serious. I'm going to be in the movie. But that's, edit that out. So, Cliff, I first met Cliff through his books, and one of my guys stalked Cliff on his Facebook page. And Cliff endorsed the Cavetime book. It was a trick. His is the famous name that we put at the top of Cavetime, and people were like, Cliff wrote a new, who's Jeff? But really, you endorsed my book.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Why would you do that?
It's an awesome book, that's why.
Really?
Yeah.
You're not just saying that.
No, I'm not just saying that. It's something to where I think the best part of this whole thing has been that it seems like the character of David in such a time as this is being the Lord is inspiring a lot of people to do something with his life, and you're just another guy out there like I am, trying to do something around his life that we think is for this time for men. And I thought that your breakdown was terrific, thought it was compelling stuff, and I was happy to write that forward.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
So we love the stuff that Cliff is writing. He's doing the Line of War series. We've got Day of War, Covenant of War, Song of War, and in Song of War, cuts the head off of Goliath and spits in his eyes. Isn't that what happened there? That was awesome. I love that. If I steal that and write it as my own, is that, that's a copyright?
That's a little bit of a copyright violation. Yeah.
Really?
No, it's okay.
What if I say I thought of it, like,
yeah.
That's not true. Awesome. Cool. You've got to get that third book, Song of War. Powerful stuff. The movie, you guys, they're making a movie, Day of War.
Yep.
And tell us, how is that going? What can, maybe, do we know when it's going to come out? Just give updates.
Yeah, it's we are currently producing the largest, most ambitious independent film ever made, and it's the largest Bible movie ever made. And it is going to be a franchise of movies, several films that are based on the life of David, based on my novels, and it's sort of the Braveheart Gladiator take on that story. Very epic, very raw, very gritty. It's being played out on a grand stage, and it's been 4 years in development, and we're just about to turn the corner into production, and it's it's going to be huge. It's going to be awesome. They're working on casting right now, and they're just a lot of the international distribution agreements and just the sort of thing that tees it up for a big entrance onto the stage. So we're excited.
That is awesome. And I know as we were talking about you making this movie, you and I interacted about that a couple of years ago almost. I told you that I was fired up about that, and this is not a slam at any other Christian movies, but I said, are you going to be making a movie that I'm not going to have to apologize to a friend and say, I know it's Christian, but remember that? So talk to us about that. It's going to be Gladiator-like? Because I went to Gladiator 5 times in the first week.
I tell you, it's something to where everyone felt like this story, the David story, it was just the time for the top talent in the world to come together with top financing and top production values and really just do this right. It's not a knock on anyone else trying to do other stuff. It's just more of saying, hey, we want to, everyone's doing their thing, and we want this to be something that can be the top quality possible at the grandest level possible. And so you get, a producer like Grant Curtis, who produced the Spider-Man trilogy, a bunch of other key players in this thing to handle it that can bring about something just special. That's what we're going for. After knowing these guys for a couple of years now, I believe them, and I believe that this is going to be something that
You can take a guy who may not go to church, who, a manly man, and the scripture's got a lot of grit, and it hasn't been portrayed as that. And sometimes even our model in church hasn't allowed for something like this that is going to be, inherently, it was a barbaric story. It is raw, and it is God showing up in the X and Y chromosomes, and that's what I love about the stories you tell, and I really am believing that the movie's going to be like that as well.
No, that's certainly the prayer. It's supposed to be accessible for a person who's never read the Bible. Maybe they just love action adventure movies, and it's produced at that level. It's also for the Christian guy who's felt lukewarm for a while, and he encounters what the ferocity of the scriptures really is about. And I think it's just for any of those audiences. And the point of my books and these movies, and even what you're doing, it's the same heart with just a different battlefield, a different front. That's what we're going for.
One of the other exciting things that's going on in Know the Covering is a book called a Battle Book. This is a book that's put together by your guy Mike Allsteel and a team of his guys. And tell us a little bit about that. The Battle Book, a manual that can literally, help us walk through some of your novels. How's that work?
Yeah, we saw there was a need. After my first novel had been in the market a while, we were getting a lot of feedback from guys that were looking for some kind of a reading group guide or a study guide. And as you know, the life of David is so rich and has so many levels that no one person is going to have the corner of the market on explaining David to the masses. And there were just a few key things about David that I specifically was focusing on, and it was warfare. He was a warrior first and foremost in his career, and even though there were lots of other aspects of him, I was fascinated by the idea of viewing him through that lens. So all I have to say is that there were a lot of guys in the military and in athletic communities, the NFL, places like that, they were saying, hey, can we have some type of a study guide or reading group guide to go with your book that will help me break this down to a group of guys in a Bible study, or maybe we all read the book and love it, or watch the movie and love it. Is there a tag-along resource? And so I started talking with Mike and a writer friend of mine, Todd Hillard, and Nick Ewing, and guys that I've been close to for a long time. They had a lot of experience in Christian counseling men, families, and we just thought, how do we make this practical? The books, like something like Braveheart or Gladiator, stirs you up. Yeah. And yet you walk out and you carry on with life, and you just remember being stirred, but it's up to you to practically break that down, what it was about that was special. Yeah. And so we're trying to help guys, with my book as a starting point, focused on the scriptures. How do they, we can use an illustration here or there from my book, but it's about a Bible study of David and the themes around him. Yeah. And so we call it, so when you're a soldier, you first enter the military, you're issued what's called a battle book, which is it's just a manual of how to be a soldier. And I thought, what a great concept. I mean, when you show up on the first day at boot camp, you don't know how to be a soldier, and they give you a book that's 300 pages long. You can't just sit down and read that and be a soldier. Yeah. Maybe there's head knowledge you've just gained, but you have to go through boot camp. You have to train on the material. And so I love the idea of a guy reading that, training on the material. And so we call it Battle Book number 1, and it's called Cover Me. And each of the novels will have a battle book to it.
And that, if you have read Cliff's books, that's a very cool double entendre there.
Yeah.
I know Mike Allsteel's name's on the book.
Yeah.
But I heard his daughters wrote it. Is that, no, serious? Because he doesn't have to see this until it goes live. Did he write that? Or his
Mike
girls are smart.
Man, he did though. He did. His girls are smart, but he did. He was in there with it. It was a team. It was really, they truly had a team effort. They truly did. But his daughters, they deserve a lot of credit.
I believe it. I believe you. I mean, I know you have to say that too. So here's the deal. In our little interview time here, you've mentioned Gladiator and Braveheart twice. I'm going to do an imitation of one of those actors and tell me what movie that is.
All right.
Are you ready?
Listening. I'm ready.
I'm going to pick a fight. What did you?
Let me think about it. That's William Wallace.
Yeah. Okay. So maybe movie.
Amazing Scottish actor.
Just pray about it. All you got to do is just pray.
I will pray hard about it. Okay. You bet.
Okay. All right. We're done. Go out and buy the Day of War stuff. When that movie comes out, men, we need to go across the country en masse and fill theaters and make a statement that God is redeeming masculinity. God is doing a powerful thing in the hearts of men, and He's firing them up, and it's time to do warfare. We're not rolling over and saying we're giving up and we're throwing up the white flag. Absolutely not. we have come to pick a fight, and we believe that God is doing some powerful things through tools like this and other ministries across the country. It's just fun to be a part. Bless you. See you. Thanks, buddy.
You bet, man. Appreciate it.
All right.